and small, cool and not cool, great and average, continue to be divisive and detrimental labels that people will place on us. Jesus referred to this woman by the cultural label of their day. It was like him calling someone from Samaria a Samaritan, because Samaria and Samaritans, those names carry with them a negative connotation. He calls her a dog. The term indicates her low status in the societal hierarchy of that day. She was at the bottom of the list. And I don't believe it's the first time that she's been referred to as someone who comes from the bottom. It's not the first time that she's been treated like, and I quote, these people or you people. But how many of you know that faith is what helped this woman and so many others to rise from that low place where people and society try to confine us? I can hear this mother in my sanctified imagination saying, it's not my first time being called names. It's not my first time being tagged by somebody trying to mistreat me and stop me and block me from getting ahead in this life. And when Jesus tied this woman to a tag assigned to her by the culture of her day, she chose to persist beyond the labels of the past. And this sister reimagined a new promise, a promise that would push Jesus to break with the traditions of that day. Verse 27, she responds to his label. She says, yes, Lord, yet even the little dogs eat the crumbs that fall from the master's table. Can I suggest to you today, brothers and sisters, that after being denied, after being labeled, she does something out of the ordinary. She does something unusual. She does not attempt to make herself something she is not. She could have argued with Jesus. She could have disputed with him about the description that he assigned to her. But instead of arguing, instead of disputing, she reimagines that description. And she says, Jesus, I hear what you're saying. And I accept the label that you've assigned to me. But I believe that even God takes care of dogs. That's what moved the master. Because if God can care for human beings, if God can take care of all of the plant life and all that has been created, surely he'll take care of the animals in the world. And that is the bottom line, brothers and sisters, that God can take care of dogs, that God can take care of those of us who society have placed on the bottom, and he can raise us up to new levels of faith and new positions of power in a society where they said we should have no power. And I wonder if there's anybody in church this morning who knows what it feels like to be denied. I wonder if there's anybody in church this morning who knows what it feels like to be labeled. I wonder if there's anybody in church this morning who knows what it feels like to be held back by systemic racism, to be put down by society, held back because you were the last hired and the first one fired, denied the job not because you didn't meet the qualifications, but you didn't meet the color requirements that were not on the application. I wish I had a witness in church who could say like this woman, yes, Lord, you're right. I am what you said I am. But my faith tells me that even those of us on the bottom, those of us who are considered the dogs of society, that God has a way of taking care of those of us of low esteem and low estate. Yes, Lord, I am a dog, but even the little dogs get crumbs that fall from the master's table. And I like the way the old preacher would say it. He would say all you need is a crumb, because if you can work with a crumb, you can work with anything. You can take that crumb and offer it back to God. And you've heard it said before, church, that little becomes much when you put it in the master's hands. And that woman turned to Jesus and said, I'm coming to you, Lord, with a crumb, because the Lord has a way of taking care of those at the bottom. And I wonder if there's anybody in church this morning who can say, preacher, I know you're right about it. I've been down low before. I've been at the bottom before. I've been of low estate and of low esteem. But thanks be to God, he was on my side. And if God be for me, he's more than the world against me. Can I preach in here this morning and tell somebody that greater is he in the dogs than he that's in the world? And I wonder this morning if there's anybody here who knows that God will, God can, and God has been taking care of you. I don't know how you feel about it, but maybe you were laid low before, but you ought to touch yourself and say, look at me now. The Lord raised me back up. The Lord lifted me up high. The Lord encouraged my spirit, and the Lord brought me to a new place in life. How do you know, preacher? How do you know God can do it? How do you know God will do it? Because here's my testimony. I came to Jesus just as I was. I was weary, wounded, and sad, but I found in him a resting place, and he has made my soul glad. Is there anybody glad this morning that he brought you from a mighty long way? Is there anybody glad this morning that the Lord has been walking with you and talking with you and telling you that you are his own? Is there anybody glad this morning that you have been operating with more faith than you know? Because if you had a little bitty faith, you would have thrown in the towel a long time ago. You would have quit the first time they said you didn't get the job. You would have gave up the first time that they said you couldn't get the promotion this year. You would have walked away from it all the first time the door was shut in your face. But I'm so glad that the Lord will open a door that no man can shut. I'm so glad that the Lord will close a door that no man can open. Is there anybody in church who's glad about it? Glad that the Lord made a way. Glad that the Lord built a bridge. Glad that the Lord ordered your steps. Glad that the Lord worked it out. Won't he work it out? Won't he work it out? Won't he fix it, church? Won't he fix it? I dare you to high five somebody and say, neighbor, I've been denied sometimes. I've been labeled sometimes. I've been called everything but a child of God. But I'm so glad this morning that the Lord has a way of raising you up. The Lord has a way of putting you out front. Won't he do it? Won't he do it? Won't he do it? Won't he do it? Won't he fight your battles? Won't he make your enemies your footstool? Won't he turn it around? Won't he work it out? I dare you to slap five with somebody and say, neighbor, Oh, neighbor, I'm glad that the Lord is still fighting my battles. I'm glad this morning that the Lord is still on my side. I'm glad this morning that no weapon formed against me is going to prosper in my life. Are you glad about it? I'm glad this morning that the Lord is my light and my salvation. I'm glad this morning that I don't have to fear one thing, because he walks with me and he talks with me. He tells me that I am his own. Is there anybody in First Union who don't mind standing to your feet? Don't mind standing to your feet, throwing your head back and saying, Lord, Lord, thank you for being so good to me. Thank you, Lord, for moving on my behalf. Thank you, Lord, for moving my mountains. Thank you, Lord, for raising my valleys. Thank you, Lord, for making ways in the desert. Won't he do it? Won't he do it? Won't he do it? Won't he do it? Say it, say it, say it, say it, say it, say it. Ain't my God all right? Ain't my God all right? Ain't my God all right?